to everyone. So actually today we're going to start on our backs. We're going to get into the hips today. A block is going to be really helpful for you. If you do not have a block, a book will work just fine. And if you need to go grab something, go ahead and do that and just hit pause. And then where we'll start is on our backs with the block, which I would say is, 4 inches thick underneath your butt. And from there, you're going to take those feet together and let the knees go wide. And just start to settle into the breath here. Nice big inhale through the nose, filling the chest and the belly up. And a nice big open mouth exhale, letting all of that breath soften out of the body. Spacious front side body through the nose, filling up. And again, an open mouth exhale as gravity softens body over block towards the earth. Let it go. And one last time like that, breath in. From the base of the spine all the way up through the crown of the head, and breath out. And then beginning to settle into Ujjayi breath, that audible inhale. And an audible exhale. Breath in. And complete breath out. And just beginning to set the tone for your practice as you settle into breath. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling out the nose. Settling into the spaciousness that that breath brings into the body. Settling into softness that breath brings into the body. Inhaling and exhaling. Any dedications, any intentions you'd like to set for your practice, this is a great space to do that. Deep inhale. And complete exhale. And then breathing into those intentions, we'll take a nice big inhale, fill the chest and the belly up. Open mouth exhale, send that intention out into the universe. Two more like that, breath in. And breath out. Last one here, in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And then from that space, begin to draw those knees together. Take the hips up off of the block and soften them down towards the earth. And then drawing your knees up and towards your chest, you'll just start to make some circles with your knees, which will translate into circles with your low back. And then letting those circles move in the other direction. And then from that space, drawing the knees together, letting those arms come out to the sides. We'll take a big breath in here, and on the exhale, knees will soften over to your right. Perhaps gaze stays over to the right or begins to soften over to long left side body as you breathe in. And softening into the twist as you breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. On an inhale, bring that back towards your center. And on your exhale, you need to scoot over a little bit because I'm a little close to the wall here. But we'll take a breath in and just soften those knees to the other side. For 3. Perhaps gaze goes over that other shoulder. You're in and out through the nose here in 2. Big breath in. And complete breath out. And then inhale, bring that back towards your center. From that space, feet are going to stay together. Knees are going to go wide. You're going to take those hands behind your head. Keep your elbows nice and wide. Big breath in, and on an exhale, it's a little hover down and hover up. Exhaling up, inhaling down, exhaling up, and inhaling down, keeping the belly button in towards the spine. Chin is off of your throat, so there's connection between head and heart as we move with breath. 5 and 4 and 3. Elbows stay wide, guys. In and out through the nose in 2. Breath in and breath out. From that space, start to float those feet. Take a big inhale here. Exhale, elbows and knees. Inhale, take it long. Exhale, elbow, knees. Inhale, long and little crouch and crunch. And you're out the nose. Your inhale and exhale. You're here for 5 and 4 and 3. Working that low belly in 2. Breath in and breath out. And then from that space with those knees in towards the chest, we'll start to roll forwards and backwards, length of the spine. And from that space, beginning to cross the ankles at the top of the mat, sliding over those shins, bringing yourself into a tabletop. And from there, with the hands right up underneath the shoulders, the knees right up underneath the hips, we'll just work ourselves through some cat cows here. Just front side body spacious, tailbone goes up, back side body spacious, tailbone goes towards those knees. Inhaling, melting the heart through the gateway that is the shoulders. And on the exhale, you're just carving it out. And maybe this becomes a little bit more dynamic. Maybe you start to really reach those hips forward and hollow those hips back. And maybe you take some circles. All of these, the guiding or I guess instructions are ultimately suggestions. And what we want to get from this practice is an ability to listen to the body and recognize what we need as we move with breath. So from that space, a nice big inhale, those fingers spreading nice and wide. We'll go ahead and tuck the toes and push it back. Downward facing dog, breath in. And breath out. And you've got a little bit of movement there in the legs, perhaps letting one leg be bent and the other leg be bent, and these headphones falling out of my ears. On your inhale, take it out into a plank pose. Slide those shoulders over the wrists. On your exhale, soften the knees. Ay, ay, ay. Soften the chin and the chest. Tops of the toes are going to come down. On your inhale, let the heart space open up. Nice. On your exhale, let's go ahead and make little cactus arm and float that heart up. From that space, inhale, get the legs into it. On the exhale, set those hands down. Tops of the feet will go down and we'll inhale, lift up. And on your exhale, go ahead and push it back. Downward facing dog, breath in. And breath out. Big inhale. Complete exhale, breath in. And breath out. We'll go ahead, let that right leg rise up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. A little bit of movement there through the ankle. Some circles up on the ceiling if that feels good. And then inhale, go ahead and take it long. On the exhale, slide it through. Find the top of your mat. From that space, inhale, heart lifts as you reach through that left heel. Exhale, we're going to push those hips back and straighten out your front leg as best you can. You can put blocks underneath your hands here to make the arms a little bit longer if you need it. Inhale, hips sink, heart lifts. Exhale, straighten out those legs. The chin comes towards the chest as you hollow out the belly and push hips back. And one more time here, we'll take a deep breath in here. And on the exhale, go ahead, push those hips back. From that space, soften into that front knee. Left hand goes down, right hand comes high. Big twist here for 3. You're in and out through the nose in 2. And on the exhale, the hands will come to the inside of that right foot. We'll walk it all the way over to the left. Big breath in here, and on the exhale, walking those hands back to line up with the feet as you squeeze the elbows towards each other. Head softening down towards the earth in 3. In and out through the nose here in 2. Breath in. And breath out. On an inhale, bring it back into a halfway lift. On your exhale, plant both the hands. Take a deep breath in here with those palms down. We're going to take a big breath in. And on our exhale, we're going to hop switch. Inhale, exhale, hop switch. Inhale, exhale, hop switch. Inhale, exhale, hop switch. And landing with left foot in front. Inhale, exhale, hop switch. From that space, right heel reaches back towards walls behind us. We'll let the hips sink and the heart lift. And on the exhale, push those hips back. Go ahead, fold over that front leg. On your inhale, sit low, lift up. And on the exhale, go ahead, push it back. Spacious as you breathe in. And complete as you breathe out. And one more here, big inhale. And complete exhale. We'll inhale, bring it back to the top of our mats. On your exhale, right hand comes down. Left hand comes high, big twist for 3. You're in and out through the nose here in 2. Your breath into that left hand, and on the exhale, walk it all the way over to the right. This time we've got 12 o'clock with those toes. We'll walk those hands out in front and just push those hips back. So it's like a wide-legged downward facing dog. You're here for 5. Where's that breath in 4? That's it. You're in and out through the nose in 3. And 2. Breath in. And breath out. On an inhale, find a halfway lift. Take those hands back underneath your shoulders. On your exhale, we'll walk it all the way to the top of your mat. Plant the hands, step it back. You've got knees, chin, and chest softening your way down towards the earth. Tops of the toes will go down. We'll inhale, pick up that heart space. And exhale, go ahead, soften it down. Float your hands, guys. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, cactus those arms. Inhale, lift up through the legs. Exhale, hands soften down. Tops of the feet soften down and peel the heart. Nice. And on your exhale, go ahead, push it back. Downward facing dog. Breath in. And breath out. On your inhale, you're way up high to toes. Bend the knees. Gaze goes out in front. Exhale, step or hop, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften over those legs and fold. And just grab your elbows here, hanging, nodding the head yes. Nodding the head no. Shifting that weight a little bit forward to the front part of the foot. Maybe the other forearm is underneath. You're nodding it yes. And you're nodding it no. And then gently release those palms down towards the earth. Bring a little bit of bend into the knees and just begin to re-articulate that spine all the way up to standing. From that space, take the shoulders up towards the ears, soften them down the back. And you'll find big toes to touch at the top of your mat. Palms are at your sides, legs are strong, heart is lifted, and you're energetically reaching down through the heels and up through the crown of the head here. There's a sense of connection, sense of purpose, sense of integrity. On your inhale, we'll let the arms rise. And on your exhale, go ahead, fold it out. Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen through that spine. And on the exhale, plant the hands, step or hop back. From that space, we'll take knees, chin, and chest all the way to the belly. Again, on that inhale, palms go down, heart lifts up. Exhale, go ahead, soften it down. Float those hands. Inhale up with the legs and with the hands. Exhale, find your cactus. Inhale from here, reach arms out in front. Exhale, find your cactus. Inhale, float those hands back towards walls behind you. Exhale, place the hands down on the earth. Tops of the toes will go down and we'll inhale, peel it up. And on your exhale, go ahead, push it back, downward facing dog. Fingers are spreading wide here. Left leg goes up as you breathe in. And on the exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. You got a little bit of movement there through the ankle, through the knee. Maybe that right heel starts to drag down towards the earth, maybe not. And then inhale, lengthen through that left leg. Listen, on your exhale, slide it through, find the top of your mat. From that space, that right heel is gonna spin down and we'll windmill those arms up and around Virabhadrasana 2. Nice heel to arch alignment. Gaze out over those fingers. Inner knee towards outer knee. This inner knee is moving out. My rib cage is moving in the other direction. There's spiraling happening there. Gaze goes out over those fingers. Inner arch of that back foot, awake and alive. Where's your breath? Where can you find softness in the pose? Maybe it's in your eyes or in your jaw. Maybe it's the heart. And just letting that softness be there so intelligence and wisdom can shine through. On your inhale, peaceful warrior, left arms rising. And on your exhale, go ahead, straighten out that left leg. Take those arms out to the sides. Inhale, reach out over those toes, and exhale, Trikonasana. Left hand comes down, right hand comes high. Long lines of energy, breath, and connection. 3. You're spinning the chest and the belly open here. You're in and out through the nose. And 2. Inhale. And exhale. Your next inhalation is going to be peaceful warrior, softening into that front knee, peeling it up. And on the exhale, windmill those hands down and around. Go ahead, frame your front foot, pick the back foot up, step it in. You're softening left hip back and right hip forward as you fold over that front leg. Parsvottanasana. Blocks can be very helpful here. Hands can be out in front. Fingertips can walk back. Fingertips can point back towards walls behind you as you fold over that front leg. Wherever you're at, where can you soften the edges in 3? In and out through the nose in 2. Breath in and breath out. We're going to walk it back up towards the top of the mat. Step that right leg back. Soften that right knee down. Right heel is going to swing to the left side of your mat. We're getting tricky. Left hand comes inside of left foot. Okay, left side, left, all the left stuff is at the top of your mat. The right knee's at the back. And then that right arm's reaching up here in 3. Yeah. Side angle variation, little mini side angle. You're in and out through the nose in 2. Breath in. Are you breathing here? That's the most important part. And breath out. On an inhale, we'll take those hands over to the right. That left leg is going to lengthen. Hands are underneath your shoulders. You're going to take a deep breath in here. On your exhale, right hand reaches towards left foot. So it's a thread the needle with an extended leg. This one too can be helpful if your twist is a little bit, haven't done a lot of twisting. A block underneath your right ear brings the earth a little bit closer, and that can be a nice option as well. And 2, breath in. Left hand can come up towards the sky and slide into that right hip crease as well here. Inhale. And exhale. One more here, breath in. And breath out. And then from that space, back up towards the side of your mat. You're going to soften it back into your low lunge. So just walk those hands and everything else should follow. And then from that space, we've got that hop switch. So these hop switches are just a great way to incorporate something that's a little bit more explosive into a static pose. I like to switch things up every once in a while. But if you're like, I don't really feel good about that, you can just step your right foot forward and step your left leg back. It doesn't have to be incredibly dynamic. It can be as simple as that. But if you want something a little more explosive, you're going to take a big breath in, pressing through those palms, and on an exhale, right foot forward. Inhale, exhale, other foot forward. In and out. We'll land with the right foot in front, maybe 2 more. Yeah. And then from that space, left heel spins down, and we'll windmill those arms all the way up and around. Heel to arch alignment. My wrists are in line with my ankles for the most part. Gaze is out over those fingers, open through the heart. Virabhadrasana 2. If you feel your heart going chicka, 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 and the breath likes to follow that, can you slow it down? I bet you can. Breathe here. 3. Inhaling and exhaling. And 2. Breath in. And breath out. Our inhale will be peace, which will turn into reverse triangle. Arms reach out to the sides. Nice big inhale out over those toes. Exhale, right hand comes down. Left hand comes high. Long lines here. Shoulders soften, open. Gaze is up. 3. You're in and out through the nose, spiraling the chest and the belly up in 2. Deep breath in. And complete breath out. And then from that space, on an inhale, We will find Peaceful Warrior. We will peel it up. Beautiful. On your exhale, windmill hands down and around. Frame your front foot, spin your back heel off the mat, and just slide it forward about a third of the way. You'll proceed to draw your right hip back as you straighten right leg as best you can and walk those fingertips back. Soften the head towards the shin. This side is very different for me from an injury. And just learning how to embrace those differences and acknowledge and recognizing that despite those differences, your body finds balance. In the midst of all of that, there is balance. Everybody doesn't always have to be on the same page. My right hip and my left hip have different experiences. And they proceed to act differently based on that. But in the middle, there is balance, yeah? Breath in. And breath out. We'll go soft into that front knee, plant the hands, step it back, low lunge. And then from that space, left hand left knee softens down. Left heel's gonna swing over to the right. Right hand's gonna slide to the inside of that right foot. A block inside of the foot is a great option to just have a little extra arm. And then from that space, left arm right up alongside the ear, left side body spacious, rib cage. Watch the shoulder. We like to reach. Can you think about maybe a little softness in the shoulder? You're here for 3. And we're going to be in and out through the nose in 2. Breath in and breath out. And from there, you're going to windmill those hands down and around. Lengthen your right leg. You're going to stay there. I'm going to come around so I can have space because I have that wall in my way. Okay. So right leg's out to the side. Left arm reaches underneath right armpit. Left ear softens down, left shoulder, maybe to a block, maybe to the earth. That right hand comes high. It's a big breath in there, and then it's right into that hip crease as you soften the heart space open. Pinky side edge of the foot is down. Where's your breath? You're here for 3. Smooth, silky breath through the nose in 2. Big breath in. And complete breath out. And then gently from that space, bring it back to the side of your mat. You're going to walk it to the front. Right foot is in front. Left toes tuck under. Left hand goes down. Right hand comes high. You're at the top of your mat. I have turned around in order to have space and have a better vantage point in 2. And then a breath in here. And on the exhale, we'll plant both the hands. Feet will meet at the top of your mat. Inhale here. Find your halfway lift. Exhale, find your forward fold. Find peace fingers and big toes, nice and long in the spine as you breathe in. We'll take the elbows out to the sides as we fold for 5. And 4. You're here for 3. Add it in 2. Breath in. And breath out. On an inhale, find a halfway lift. On your exhale, take one of your knees behind one of your ankles and just go ahead and sit down. And from that space, we'll take those feet together, let the knees go wide. And you've got a generous amount of space in between heels and midline. So it's not exactly butterfly where things are quite a bit closer. From here, you can slide your hands perhaps underneath your shins and just soften down. Maybe hands come to the feet. Maybe head softens towards feet. maybe you've got a block or a book and you can fashion that block in towards those feet and just let the big bowling ball that sits on top of your shoulders get heavy. Notice what happens there. Breath in. And breath out. Inhale. And from that space, begin to draw yourself back up. Take these legs out in front. Go ahead, slide your right knee up and towards your chest and over your left. Move to the side here. Big breath in. Perhaps left heel comes in towards the bum. If both of those seats are ground down, both of your seat bones are grounding, that's where you want to be. If not, left leg is out in front. And from that space, we'll hug it with our left as we look over our right shoulder in 3. Maybe the elbow slides outside of the knee. Gaze goes behind you in 2. Breath in. And breath out. On your inhale, bring it back towards your center. On your exhale, take it to the other side. And from that space, legs will come out in front. We'll give them a little shimmy shake. Other leg slides over the top. Again, hip bones are down. You can draw that right heel in towards the booty. If you feel like you're leaning over to one side, it might be better to stay with your right leg out in front. We'll give it a hug with our right, look over our left. Gaze is behind you, lengthening through the spine as you breathe in and softening into the twist as you breathe out. Inhale and exhale. Breath in. And breath out. Maybe the elbow softens outside of that thigh as you move deeper with breath in 2. Left foot is down on the earth. And breath out. Well, one more here. Inhale. And exhale. And then bring it back towards your center. Maybe a generous twist to the other side. From that space, we'll take those legs out in front. And you can begin to reach through those arms as you lower yourself all the way onto your back. Whoa. And from that space, walking those feet in so they're hip width apart. We'll go ahead, take right ankle on top of left knee. You can soften left knee in towards your chest, perhaps softening right elbow out into right knee and in turn the right knee softens out as well. You're here for 3. That's it. In and out through the nose and 2. Breath in. And breath out. And then gently listen. You're going to soften that down. You're going to take your arms out to the sides. You still have right ankle and left knee. You're going to start to take everything over to the left and inner right knee towards outer right knee. So this knee, a lot of times it would come in towards us. It's going to go away from us in 3. And 2. Awesome. Breath out. Inhale, bring it back towards your center. Feet go down. Let's take those hands right beside those hips and let those hips rise up. Interlace those fingers. Give me those shoulders in 3. Yeah. And 2. Breath in. And go ahead, soften it down, breath out. Left ankle, right knee softens in. Backside of that hamstring is your handle. Dorsiflexion and all of the toes. And that smooth, silky breath. Inhale and exhale. Deep breath in. Complete breath out. Otra vez aquí. And exhale. Breath in and breath out. That left knee is softening away from the body in this space as well. Okay. We're going to set the right foot down. Keep everything where it is. Wiggle your right foot out to the right. You can find cactus arms and then just softening over to your right. Inner left knee towards outer right knee. You're sure for 3. You're through the nose in 2. Breath in and breath out. And then bring it back towards your center. Wrap those knees in towards your chest, forearms around the shins. Big inhale here. On the exhale, heels are in, toes are out, palms are up, and you're on the receiving end of a short but vigorous practice. Relaxing through eyes and jaw, and letting gravity soften you yet again towards the earth. Spacious and lifted. Body and breath. When you're ready from that space, you can begin to let all the air out of the lungs. And taking a nice big breath in as you lay on your back, filling the chest, filling the belly, feeling the backs of those ribs expand into the earth. An open mouth exhale will be your release. From there, you can begin to find a little bit of movement with your fingers, a little bit of movement with your toes, maybe some wrists, ankles. And then taking those legs and those arms nice and long, reaching through arms, reaching through legs, stretching through side body. And eventually drawing those knees up and towards your chest, beginning to roll over to one side from that space. And from there, you come into a comfortable sleep, sitting nice and gentle. And eyes be closed here, just noticing any differences. Taking your hands to the heart. Gesture of gratitude, a gesture of grace, a gesture of our ability to cultivate balance in the midst of things being pulled in different directions. And a gesture of gratitude for a practice that teaches you resilience, that teaches you what you're made of, that teaches you that you have the ability to be calm, you have the ability to be strong, that you are whole, and that you are complete. Giving thanks. Namaste.